This is Chips Ahoy, a chocolate chip cookie brand. Recently, they published a video about the lack of artist diversity in art museums. Because cookies or something.
For many teens, creativity is their happy place, and they look for creative role models they can relate to. But while 48% of teens identify as a person of color, only 15% of creative work in museums is made by artists of color.
And the source of that statistic is a 2019 research article where the authors scraped the online public catalogs of 18 major US museums and found that 85% of the artists were white. So for clarity, it's 15% in 18 selected museums, not 15% of all museums. Gee, I can't believe Chips Ahoy would lie to me.
Since museums represent a pinnacle of success for creativity, that's not such a fun fact. Chips Ahoy is the brand that's here for happy.
What?
So we think teens' happy places should reflect them. We found an institution that's already leading the way in diversity, the High Museum of Art in Atlanta.
Nope, that stat's wrong too. Because according to the High Museum's annual report on inclusion, that 62% of exhibitions is not only artists of color, but also women identifying or female artists and LGBTQ+ artists. So they're lumping all of these subcategories together to make a bigger number. 62%, wow! But if you take a closer look at the numbers, it's not so impressive. According to the High Museum's own report, in their American art category, only 8% of their exhibits came from women, and only 5% came from Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, i.e. BIPOC. The High's decorative art exhibits are 95% male artists and only 4% BIPOC. And European art at the High is 99% male and 0% BIPOC. Did you see it? Did you see all the diversity? The African art on exhibit comes from 98% male artists, and 98% of those artists are BIPOC. Which probably explains why this number is as high as it is. And while the High Museum has dedicated areas for African, American, and European art, it doesn't have one for Asian art. Oh, I see. It's that kind of diversity. Got it.
We partnered with the High's teen team to launch an interactive AR experience to highlight creative work from more diverse artists and add even more happy to these institutions.
Wow, nothing like having access to a museum that boasts a collection of more than 19,000 works of art and forcing a bunch of teens to stand in an empty room and look at their phones. And like most museums, the High explicitly states that food or drink are not permitted in the museum's galleries. And yet, here's a bunch of teens breaking the rules eating Chips Ahoy. What's that all about? The Chips Ahoy press release states, whether they create inside a classroom or tour a museum exhibit, teens derive an undeniable happiness from art, design, and creativity. Not all teens, but sure, okay. As the brand that is here for happy, Chips Ahoy wants to help design a world where all teens have the same opportunity to access multicultural art and be inspired by two top passions, art and creativity. But if teenagers, or anyone for that matter, wants access to multicultural art, they don't need Chips Ahoy to help them, because the internet exists. But whatever, let's launch this virtual experience and bathe in the sea of multicultural diversity brought to you by Chips Ahoy.
You remember when you sent me a voice memo and you were singing Tevin Campbell, "Can we talk for a minute? 'Cause girl, I want to know your name." And you sung it just like that too. Yes, flat and all.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking.
That belongs in a museum.
No, definitely not that. But if you're thinking, that's not a teenager, well, you'd be right, because Amari K. Jones is a 23-year-old art school graduate.
You remember season 4, episode 16 of A Different World, when Dwayne Cleophas Wayne stopped the whole wedding, ran down the aisle and screamed, "Baby, please, baby, please."
So, teens of color are supposed to watch a monologue with A Different World references and go, Wow, what a role model. I want to be a multicultural artist just like her. And I also need to point out that of the 8 teen artists that were featured in the virtual gallery, only 4 of them are actual teens. According to People magazine, Amara Ailman is 29 years old. And I don't know how old Jalen Johnson is, but she has a master's from Savannah College of Art and is obviously a grown-ass woman. And this is a photo of Natalie Osborne back in 2018, and she wasn't a teen back then, so she clearly wouldn't be now. Or maybe she identifies as a teen, I don't know. So while a cookie brand tries to virtue signal about diversity, 7 of the 8 artists featured are African American. The 8th is Asian American. Welp, so much for actual multiculturalism. Sad, really.
Scan the QR code to see the art and trigger a $1 donation from Chips Ahoy to fund art programs that support multicultural creativity, up to a combined $15,000.
So Chips Ahoy, whose parent company is a multi-billion-dollar multinational, is so concerned about diversity and multicultural creativity in museums that they're going to donate up to $7,500 to the High Museum. That's right, not $15,000, up to $7,500. I know everyone's hurting in this economy, but come on, man. And the other $7,500 they might give to the Boys and Girls Club, because that's contingent on 15,000 people actually looking at the virtual gallery. Sorry, kids.
We can help create a future that's happy by design.
Not with a whole $7,500, you aren't. And for even more righteous nonsense, here's a portion of some marketing materials from Chips Ahoy's parent company. At Mondelez International, our purpose is to empower people to snack right. No, your purpose, Mondelez, is to sell cheaply made processed food to the masses and deliver to your shareholders. That means creating a future where people and the planet thrive and doing business the right way by fostering sustainable and mindful snacking. Wait, what the hell is mindful snacking? So what do we mean by mindful snacking? It is about eating with intention and attention, focusing on the present moment, and savoring how the food tastes so you really enjoy it. In short, it's about making the most of snacking in the moment. This has never been more important, given that we are all snacking more often. In other words, we appreciate you buying our junk food, but you're eating too much of it, so for legal purposes, we need to pretend that we care about your well-being. Snacking mindfully involves a few simple steps that add up to real all-around enjoyment. Oh good! Mondelez has special instructions on how to eat unhealthy snacks. First, minimize distractions. Okay everyone, shut up! I'm about to snack mindfully. Portion out your snack. So a mindful serving is 3 of these? No wonder everyone is so overweight. Focus on the smell and taste. Smells like bioengineered food ingredients. Notice the textures. Were Chips Ahoy always this dry? Chew thoroughly. Wow, tastes like multiculturalism. Finish 1 bite before starting the next. Yeah, no thanks. Anyway, that's it for now. Follow me on X at Don't Walk Run, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. Also, a very special thanks to Poofy for her help with the script, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is a next time.